What is going on, Internet? This is JD coming at you with another video from Redskins Rant. Hail to the Redskins, okay? It's game day. It's a preseason game. Now I'm going to go over a little bit about what I saw last week in our last game. Our last game was not a bad game. I mean, the first half was great. I was really impressed with the way our defense played in the first half. And honestly, if we want to get technical, the only people who might be playing from that game are the people who played in the first half anyway, so I'm not too concerned about second half. The only person in the second half that really stood out to me was Tim Settle, so I'm not too worried about him. I thought the offense looked very crisp. The team actually looked prepared to play, which is like it's like a big difference from what we used to be. We used to always like walk into games and never look like we had a game plan or anything like that. So that's one thing I will say is I do think the team looked prepared yesterday or last week. Looked prepared to play. Colt McCoy the offense was running very smooth. It sucks, big donkey dick, that we fucking lost Darius Geis. We just can't catch a goddamn break. But I'm optimistic because Perine actually had some pretty good runs. He just needs to hang on to the damn football. I've heard a lot of good things about Bibbs and Marshall. I really don't like Rob Kelly. I hope Rob Kelly's just done. I don't think he has any kind of like burst. Like all the other guys seem like they have a little bit of a burst. So, I mean, they protected Colt McCoy pretty well. I'm not really worried about whoever our backup was. Oh, my God. He looks so bad. So I'm not even going to worry about him. He looked god-awful. Jeez, no wonder the Browns got rid of him. Let's see here. The defense. I thought the defense actually looked very stout. They got after it. They weren't like blitzing a lot. They were using a lot like 2 or 3 man, or 3 or 4 man rushes, and they were still like putting pressure on the quarterback. So there's a lot of good things I saw from that. The defense was covering well. They just released Orlando Scandrick, which I kind of saw that coming. They drafted so many corners that they basically, the way it sounds, and I was listening to JP Finley's Redskins talk this morning. From what they're saying, that like Quentin Dunbar went from being like a raw, just athletic corner to now he's actually starting to look pretty good. So if that's the case, it makes sense. I mean, I'd get rid of him too, and not to mention, like, apparently he just like wasn't like being a good team player. He was kind of a cancer in the locker room. So it makes complete sense now why they got rid of him. It was probably good to bring him in, give some experience, maybe give a little competition to the younger guys. But I mean, we got so many young guns out there that are going to play. We got Stroman, we got Nicholson. We just have so many young players that are just ready to step in and just really just get after it and contribute to the defense. So I really am not concerned about losing Orlando Scandrick. I think we're just we're going with a younger core of guys. And we have enough young corners right now. Like really, in the next 5 years, I've said this before. Next 5 years is we're going to actually start. I think we're actually going to have a really solid defense and a really solid team overall, because we're actually starting to. We're not signing old veterans, like except at the quarterback spot. If you can make that argument if you want. We're not like signing old veterans to long extensions to have them for like 6 years whenever they're on the tail end of their career. We're not doing that. What we're doing now is we're actually drafting. We're trading down and drafting more guys. And we're drafting guys with, talent. We're actually drafting from good feeder systems. We're getting a lot of defensive, tackles and defensive ends and linebackers from Alabama, who that's what they're known for. And we're also getting, we're getting corners from Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech has produced a lot of corners for us. So we're getting guys from places where, there's like a pedigree and they're good at producing these kind of players. So that's something we're doing that I'm really I like. Okay, LSU produces running backs, so on so forth, like Darius Geis and Leonard Fournette. It just sucks he's injured, but I really think that the way the offense looked on last Thursday, and I know, take it with a grain of salt, that it was subs and not starters, but the offense actually looks crisp, and we didn't have a lot of starters in. None of our starting receivers are in. No Jamison Crowder, no Josh Dotson, no Paul Richardson. We had nothing but backups. Rob Davis broke his leg, which sucks because he actually looked like he was going to be, a pretty good contribution. But we had some good contribution from, Maurice Harris. He actually looked pretty good. Who's the other receiver? Sims or whatever his name is. He was from Alabama. He's a receiver from Alabama. He had a really good catch and run. So there's a lot of things I can take away from that game that, guys that you wouldn't expect to just, step up and look good. We actually had a fullback. I can't think of his name. He's actually from WVU, so I should know his name. Can't think of his name. He actually stepped up and had a pretty decent game. The defensive players, Tim Settle actually looked like a freaking beast. He was taking on double teams and still making tackles, and that's what we needed from him. So Tim Settle looked pretty good. I've heard a lot of good things about Daron Payne right now. There's so many things I can actually talk about positives, and I'm not gonna get negative. I'm not gonna be negative about it. Trey Quinn took one hell of a shot, and he got up, and I'd like to see more of him. So this is what I'm expecting today. So I'm not gonna go too much into detail. I thought the team actually looked pretty crisp in the first half. Second half, not so much. I'm not gonna go too much into that. I'm not gonna get pissed off and excited or pissed off. To any extreme degree because of a preseason game. The second half did make me mad because I'm like, oh, Redskins are actually dominating, and the second half they just didn't really do much. They just kind of ran down our throats. So it is what it is. So I'm not gonna get too excited or get too mad about anything that happened in that game. But I will say that we looked prepared the first half. The defense looked like they were covering everyone. They looked like they were getting after people. The last 30 seconds of the first half though really sucked dick. But other than that, Redskins looked like they were they were just they were ready. They were showed up prepared to play football. Tonight, what I want to see is the whole first team. I think they're going to play the whole first quarter. Okay, the whole first team will play the whole first quarter on offense. I don't know if we'll get all our receivers. I don't know if we're going to get Jordan Reed. Whether we have all them or not, all I want to see is the offense actually moving the ball. I want to have our offensive line actually getting some good blocks and getting the running game started. I really want to see who's going to step in at running back. It's nothing against Rob Kelly. He had a good year for us. He doesn't wow me in any factor other than the fact he does run a little bit. He does run hard. I'll give him that. So he does run hard, but he doesn't wow me in any other way. That's just my personal opinion. You don't have to like it. It's just he just doesn't wow me. He doesn't jump off the screen and wow, that guy is the guy. He just had a season where we're a hard-nosed running team for one season, and he happened to be the running back that we did that with. We were supposed to have Matt Jones that year be good, and we didn't. So that's tonight. I want to see that. We're going up against, I think it's the Jets. Yeah, we're going against the Jets. I want to see the defense really put the clamp down on a lot of receivers on the Jets. They don't have great receivers, so we should be able to do that. And I also want to see us get after the quarterback. I don't know if Daron Payne will be playing today or not. I would really like to see our full. I don't want to see the full defense because I don't want to risk anyone getting injured. Okay, but I want to see our defense really just be dominant. So what I want to see out of the preseason, I want to see all of our first team stuff. All of our first quarter, first couple possessions, whatever case would be, where we have starters in and we're playing against starters. I want to see us be doing things consistently good. I don't want to see us have dry spells on our offense or whatever. I really want to see Alex Smith tonight. I'm excited to see him in a Redskins jersey, actually running the offense, so on and so forth. I'm excited to see that, and I want to see. I know we're not going to see all of our receivers, so that's just a fantasy right now, but. Just in general, I just really want to see. I just want to see us have a good game. I want to see the whole first quarter where we're probably gonna play all of our starters. Let's just dominate that quarter. March the ball down the field, stick the ball in the end zone. Do it 2-3 times. I'd like to see us put up a couple scores. They're not going to open up the offense very much. They don't want to show everything we're doing. And again, we're probably not having all of our starters playing, so that's going to hinder that. So. I just want to see us be consistent. I don't want to see any turnovers. I don't want to see any fumbles. I want to see the defense force at least one turnover in that first quarter. That'd be amazing to see. Jets don't really have a quarterback that they're consistently is the guy. So I really want to see how that plays out. But other than that, I mean, I'm not going to comment on. I watched the video where someone went off on players for saying fans need to be loyal. I'll comment on that for 2 seconds. First off, I think it's kind of hypocritical for someone to go after a player, for saying that you need to be loyal whenever you like love the player who ran to another team because he got more money. Like, seriously, I don't understand that at all. Like, why would you back the player that ran to another team and wouldn't re-sign with us whenever we offered them a decent amount of money a couple years ago? Okay, and he just kept saying no and saying no and saying no and saying no, and he ran to another team. So you're going to talk about loyalty? I don't understand that. But basically what happened was it DJ Swearinger said that Redskin fans need to be loyal, need to be don't be fair weather fans, be diehard fans, which most Redskin fans are diehard fans. Okay, Redskins, and I love my team, but we just haven't had a lot of success lately. Since like the early 90s, we haven't had a lot of success. It is what it is. We have a crappy owner, and some bad things didn't go our way, or some things didn't go our way. That's basically it. But I think we've made strides in the right direction. We're actually having a more consistent team. We're actually building the team, I believe, the right way. So Redskin fans in general are very loyal fans, okay? But some people just don't want to, endorse their money to watch crap, and it's sometimes a product on the field. So when it comes to loyalty, yeah, the players should ask fans to be loyal, because that's the fan's job. Fan is short for fanatic. The job of the fan is to be, loyal to their team no matter what, okay? I live in an area, and I don't like this team whatsoever, the Steelers, but I will say something about their fans. They're very loyal, okay? Now, they've had a lot more success, so let's see how loyal they were I'm curious how loyal they were in the 80s and the 90s when they had no success. But right now, they're a successful team. They're good every year, okay? So it's really easy to be loyal. But Redskin fans in general, at least most of my life, they're loyal fans. I don't know how you can question Redskin fans' loyalty, but also as a fan, I understand players want that loyalty. They want to see that loyalty because they're obviously playing for millions of dollars, okay? But you have to have some extra motivation. They want that extra motivation. They want people to come out and see them, okay? They want the fans to show up. Would you rather play an NFL game in front of no people, okay, or 1,000 people, or 10,000 people, or 20,000, whatever the case may be? Which one would you rather have? I'd rather play a football game in front of thousands of people than 0 people. That's always basically trying to say football is a spectator sport. It's a sport where, the crowd has to get into it. You make a big play, like the crowd really helps you build momentum. It's just the way it is. And in last few years, we've had people where, like, we've had sections of our crowds that weren't supposed to be Giants fans or Eagles fans or whatever showing up in numbers when they shouldn't be showing up in numbers. Obviously, you're going to have some fans of other teams showing up in your fans because, the other teams have the right to sell those tickets, and they have like a blotch of tickets they can sell in certain areas. But they shouldn't be getting other areas. And that's where I believe that Swearinger has a point. We don't want to be seeing a whole bunch of Eagles fans during a Redskins-Eagles game, especially a home game. Okay, I don't want to see that crap. Okay, so I agree with him. And I think calling the player and telling them, I think it's just very hypocritical to say that the players like leave and go. The players don't. Honestly, if most players, you think most players want to uproot and leave and go have to buy a new house and everything? No, but the NFL's created in a way where that's what happens. Okay, and it's not that I'm not trying to make excuses for why guys chase money, but you only have so many years to play football. Okay, it's not like everyone else's careers. This is everyone else's careers. Okay, if you make $40,000 a year, and you get a percentage increase every year, and you work that from like the age of like 20 years old or 23 years old or 25 or whatever till you're 60, you got money consistently. Okay. Okay, even if it wasn't that much money, it's still consistent money, and you built yourself, you put savings away, so on and so forth. With football, your career, the average career of an NFL drafted player is 2 years. So in that 2 years, you can literally be drafted, get a bonus of like a couple $100,000, and be out of the league. So when players want to like play as much, no one plays past 40 unless they're a quarterback or a kicker, I guess. Okay. But most players don't play past a certain point. Okay, it's not like they play until they're 60, and they're making millions of dollars a year until they're 60. They play until they're like running backs don't go past like 32. Okay, if you're 32 years old and you're a running back, you're lucky. Like Frank Gore, It's kind of a freak that he's still playing, but just in a general sense, it's kind of freakish that he's still playing, considering how old he is. But it's awesome because he's still productive. That's very rare. You don't have that anymore. Okay, you just don't have players playing till they're 40. Okay, younger players come in, they're faster. The older guys lose a step. They lose a little bit of muscle mass. So they can get more savvy in their old age. Like Trent Williams eventually is going to get old. Okay, and if the Redskins cut him because they can get someone younger who can do it just as good for half the price, and he goes somewhere else, is that not loyalty? I mean, yeah, I think it's just hypocritical to yell at a player for being loyal whenever the team isn't always loyal to them, and vice versa. It's just the name of the game. It's the nature of the beast. And I think it's very hypocritical also to get on a player about asking fans to be loyal whenever, the guy that you were like all about ran and went to another team. Okay? That's like, I love Alfred Morris. I wish he was on the team. And it had nothing to do with loyalty why he left. He wanted to stay in Washington. They didn't want him because they thought Matt Jones was the future. Had nothing to do with him himself. What it had to do with was the fact that they just wanted to go a different direction. That's all. And where was the loyalty? Where was the loyalty conversation then? Why weren't they loyal to Alfred Morris? They drafted him and he put up pretty much, I think it was 1,000-yard seasons every year except for one. So, where was loyalty when we drafted RG3? So I don't want to hear that crap when it comes to talking about loyalty. The NFL and in most sports, basketball is a little different because basketball, they have there's a lot more leeway in the salary cap. This is a hard cap league. So loyalty, there's no loyalty. If they had loyalty, they would open the cap up and let guys stay where they were drafted. My opinion is, I just think if you got drafted by a team, you should be able to stay there as long as you want. Okay, if you got drafted by a team, they should be able to pay you whatever is necessary to keep you. That's what I personally believe. So, if you get drafted by a team, they should have to pay you what your market value is to keep you. Now, if they don't want to pay that, you can go somewhere else. That's fine. And someone else can pay you. But you have to... I really think a lot of the free agency bullcrap needs to be changed. I think whenever you're drafted, you should be on that team for your entire career. Unless... and you have to have an unbiased a control group or whatever you want to call it, and they judge what the guy's worth, and it's mixed with players, it's mixed with maybe ex coaches, whatever case may be. You judge what the guy's worth, where his value is when it comes to this position. Now, some positions obviously you're not going to pay a kicker $5 million a year, okay, but I think my point is being made that some guys are valued and they're paid less than the value they are. That's where I think the salary cap needs to stop, because let's say I get drafted by the Dolphins, okay? I'm an all-pro safety, okay? My value that I'm worth, they say I'm worth about $12 million a year for 3 years. Let's just say that's the value I'm worth. Dolphins can pay me that, or if they don't want to pay me, then they can give a 6th-round draft pick or whatever to anyone who would want to pay that to trade me to their team. I think that's how it should be done. Okay? Now, if the team just wants to cut bait with me altogether and doesn't worry about getting anything back in return, then that's free agency. Okay? Just altogether. But if it comes down to value, and then that's how you remove and they want to get me off free agency, they have to pay the amount that they gauge me at, how much my value is. Again, it needs to be players, not owners. Don't do this, because owners would lowball everyone. Okay, they'd all work together and lowball everyone. It needs to be an unbiased group where they actually kind of gauge where this person ranks. Okay, so the best corner in the league or safety in the league is getting $15 million, and this guy's the third best, and the 10th best is making $8 million. He's somewhere in between that, so he's between 10 and 12 million. That's kind of fair. Okay? So that's how you gauge it. That's just my personal opinion. I wish that's how free agency worked. You can still trade as much as you want. You just, but if someone's up for free agency or a re-sign, you have to pay what their market value is. Or, if you want to take less as a player, you're allowed to. Let's say I wanted to stay with the Dolphins, and they don't want to pay me $12 million, but they want to pay me $10. I'm like, okay, I'll take $2 million less, a hometown discount, to stay here, because I don't want to go anywhere else. I like playing in Miami, whatever the case may be. So that's what I personally think, and I think the basketball should be done the same way. That's my personal opinion. I think free agency just kind of ruins it, and and what happens is you get a lot of teams that like overpay for like not I won't say marginal players, but players that what's what I want to say are either just at their prime or leaving their prime, and you're going to overpay for that. Whenever you just literally have this group put their market value up there, and you can pay them what their market value is. It is what it is. That's what I personally think. So sorry I got off on a tangent there, but I really just don't like it when we get on to players about that, because you got to understand the psychology of a player is that they can literally have one play and their career is over, and their entire stream of revenue, their entire money that they're making is gone. Okay? It's gone. No one else, none of us have anything like that where we literally, I have a friend of mine, actually, I work with him. He was in the middle of work, or we were playing basketball after work. He tore his Achilles, and now he cannot do the job we have because it has more physical demand. You have to be able to stand, you have to be able to do a lot of things. He tore his Achilles and he could not do it. Okay? So there's not a lot of jobs where literally if you get a physical injury or whatever, you're done. If Tom Brady were to tear his ACL today, his career's done. Darius Geis tore his ACL so he's out for this season. If he doesn't come back 100%, or let's say we draft another one just to be safe, and we draft one better, guess what? Darius Geis may not have a chance to actually prove that he's an NFL caliber player. That's how flimsy and how quick you can be out of this league. Okay? NFL stands for not for long. Okay? So I just want people to understand that. I think it's very arrogant to ask players, like, to get on the players about not being loyal. I think it's really arrogant first to ask. I won't say arrogant. I just think it's kind of, messed up to say that, players should be loyal, and not to say fans be loyal. And then you're loyal to a player who ran somewhere else and played for $90 million, guaranteed. When we would offer him, a decent contract. We would offer him a decent contract 2 years ago, but he just didn't want to sign it because he was greedy. And he made $40-some million over 2 years. And he made $1 million a touchdown he threw. That's basically what happened. But I just think it's kind of messed up to question the player's loyalty why is their loyalty in question? But why is the team not loyal to them? Why is the owner not loyal to? Why wasn't the owner loyal to Alfred Morris? And I could keep going. There's a whole bunch of examples of this, but I think it's kind of messed up to ask a player to be loyal. The player's not asking you to be loyal to them. They're asking you to be loyal to the team. There's a difference. I understand if the player's like, you should be loyal to me. I'm your starting safety, or I'm your starting cornerback, or I'm your starting quarterback. Whatever. That makes sense, and I agree with that part. Okay? But if you're gonna sit there and say that it's wrong for a player to ask fans to be loyal to the team, that's where I think you're wrong. Because that is like the point of the game. Without fans and loyal fans, no team will have success. Because you have to have someone to patron your product. Okay? I'm not going to get too much into that anymore. I think I've said my piece. It's went on a little longer than I anticipated. I just want to see good football tonight. I want to see the Redskins actually have success. I think it's in D.C. I think it's in D.C. tonight. So that's going to be exciting to watch. I'll be working, but I'm probably going to watch it on my tablet while I'm working. So, this is JD. This is Redskin Rant. Please like, share, and subscribe. Let me know your opinion. What do you think loyalty means in fanhood? What is your opinion on loyalty? I'm loyal no matter what. Okay? And again, I'm not loyal to players. I'm loyal to the team. I like certain players on my team. And I'm sad to see some of them go. I wish Chris Cooley could have played forever. I really do. Because I love Chris Cooley. He's one of my favorite players. But he got old, and we had to move on. He couldn't physically do it anymore. He couldn't, get himself open. He wasn't at peak top condition that he was when he first started. Okay? Loved RG3, but he just wasn't fitting. Okay? He didn't fit the offense. He didn't fit all those things. So we got to be more. I don't think it's wrong for a player to ask to be loyal to the team. It is wrong for a player to ask to be loyal to you, considering how quickly they can be cut. Okay, so why should they be loyal to the team? First off, because they have more to lose if they get from the team than you do. If they lose a game, you're gonna go home and cry about it. If they lose a game, they could literally get cut the next day because they didn't make the right play. I think that's just a little bit messed up. Just saying, that's my personal opinion. Let me know what your thoughts are. What is loyalty to you? How do you gauge loyalty? Do you think that a player should have the right to ask fans to be loyal? Or do you think the player has no moral ground to stand on because of, how much they switch around? I think they do, based on the reasons that I've stated. I think they have moral ground for that. They don't have moral ground to ask you to be loyal to them personally, but they do have a right to ask you to be loyal to the team. It is a patron-based product. You have to have people watching the game for it to be successful. That's why I get paid so much. All right? I'm JD. This is Redskin Rant. Like, share, subscribe, comment, leave a message, whatever case may be. See ya.